All right, bear with me. Hey everybody, I'm a little late, but it's time for Strat-O-Matic baseball. I was having an issue with UPS delivery, but I picked up one of these today. I don't have time to hook it up right now, but it's a ring light. Okay, so this may provide, and your phone goes in here, that way it's backlit. And that would sit up over the screen on the tripod, kind of like mine is doing now. But it might provide better lighting, so we'll see. Let's fire up I'll play with that later on this evening. Fire up the crowd noise. Anyway, I won't mess with that now. We got a game to play. It's the San Francisco Giants at the Houston Astros, the second of a 4-game series, and the first game of a doubleheader. I probably won't get both games in today. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do an evening game. I don't know. We'll have to see how I feel. The one thing that is certain is we're going to get this game in. And the pitchers on the mound today are going to be Bobby Bolin for the Giants, Barry Latman for Houston. Both fine pitchers, and both had fine 66s. And actually, Bolin was a fine pitcher. Latman, I don't know about. He had a fine season in 66. He pitched for 10 years. A career ERA of 3.91. Yeah, he had, looks like he was very good in 65 and 66 and average to below average in all of his other seasons. So he wasn't all that great. But he was good in 66. 2.71 ERA was actually better than Bolin's 2.89. So on the surface of things, you might say we're in for another pitching duel, but this is Strat-O-Matic, so yeah. We just never know, do we? So let's get to the lineups now. For the Giants, pretty much their usual lineup they've been using lately. It's Hal Lanier at second base, Jesus Alou in right field, Willie Say-Hey Mays in center field, Willie McCovey, the Big Mac, batting cleanup, Jim Ray Hart at third base, Orlando Cepeda struggling out in left field once again, but his bat's in the lineup in the sixth spot, and that makes this a hell of a deep lineup as Tom Haller, the left-handed hitting catcher, was a good hitting catcher, and he bats seventh. Dick Schofield's back at shortstop for the second game in a row, hitting eighth, and Bolin hits ninth. And hi, Kurt, Franklin, and Philip. Don, yeah, right? I remember that. For Houston, it'll be Joe Morgan at second base, followed by Sonny Jackson, the shortstop, Jimmy Wynn in center field, Jim Gentile at first base, hits in the cleanup spot, Rusty Staub bats fifth in left field, Dave Nicholson is in right field, Bob Aspromonte at third base, John Bateman will catch and hit eighth, Latman hits ninth. So, how's everybody doing? The second day of the year. How about that? And with that, we'll get her underway here. Okay, so the umpire says play ball. Latman's ready to go. Hal Lanier steps in from the right side. Latman gets his sign from Bateman, and here's the pitch. We've got a 6-6 to the right-handed Lanier, a single to two, but that's going to be a liner to third base. Aspromonte makes the play, and there's one down. And just like that, we're finally underway. And good evening, Mike. Welcome, sir. Here's Jesus Alou now. Latman with the pitch. That's a 5-8 to Alou. That's going to be a ground ball to second base X. That'll be Morgan. He's a 3E30. As he ranges to his left to plug up the gap, here's the roll on the play. On a 5, he makes a fine play and throws him out. So nice play, Morgan. That'll go 4-3X, 2 down. And here's Willie Mays. Latman staring in to get his sign now. The pitch to Mays, a 4-7. He struck him out. Whoosh. 1-2-3 go the Giants in the first. And after a half, it is San Francisco nothing, Houston coming to bat. And Bobby Boland's going to get loose. I've got some coffee here. I've been blowing it on my no more coffee after lunch, go to tea program. That's okay. We'll get back on it eventually, I suppose. Okay, here's Morgan to lead things off for Houston. Here's Boland into his windup. The pitch to Little Joe is a 3-10 to the right. He pops him up. Lanier is under it and makes the catch for the out. 1 down, and Sonny Jackson will be the batter. Giants come into the game 6-3. Houston comes in with a 4-6 mark on the season. As Boland winds and delivers the pitch to the plate to Jackson, a 6-4 to a lefty as a grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be Schofield. That's always a little scary with a 3E56. And here's the play on a 2. He can't get it. That's going to be ruled a base hit. To be fair, that would have been a tough play for anyone. And Sonny Jackson's aboard, and Jackson's got wheels. An asterisk 19, Boland a +3. You know, he's not helping it at all. Heller a 0, so that'd make Jackson a 20. Held on a 1-18. And of course, he's going to try for the lead with those odds. 2-5, 11, and 12. A 6, he does not establish a good lead. What would he be on the second number? He'd be 17 -4. God, he's still 1-13 on his back number. Something to think about, but Jimmy Wynn's going to hit away. From the stretch, it's a 3-7, swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Wynn. Boland was a good strikeout pitcher. I know that was on Wynn's card, but see, this year he wasn't so much. 143 and 224 innings. I think I made that mistake once before. In my mind, anyway, Boland was a strikeout pitcher. Perhaps that was in a different season, or this season was an aberration, or I'm just having a senior moment. Take your pick. And good afternoon, Rick. Same to you, sir. I had a good time. I'm still getting over the bronchial thing a little bit. But it's getting better, and steps are being made in that direction as well. Okay, 2 down. Jackson held on first. Here's Gentile now. Boland's pitch to the left-hander is a 4-9. That's a single to 5. But on a 9, that's going to be made by Lanier. The sure-handed Lanier throws him out. And down go the Astros. No runs a hit, they leave a man, and we are scoreless after an inning. Imagine that. A game in 1966, scoreless after an inning. God, I do love it, though. Hopefully I didn't jinx it. You know I love my pitching duels. Okay, Latman getting ready to go now here. He's set, and in steps Willie McCovey. McCovey with prodigious power, especially against right-handers. Latman comes in with his pitch. On a 3-5, it's a base hit into right for Willie Mack, and he's on to lead things off here in the second. McCovey not a threat to run. Latman a -3 hold to boot. Bateman is 0. And here's Jim Ray Hart. Latman from the stretch now. Pitch to Hart is a 5-9 to the right-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3. Oh, that was nasty. And down goes Hart. There's one down. And here is Orlando Cepeda. It seems like this lineup just never quits. Latman gets his sign now from the stretch. Pitch to Orlando on a 2-4. Grounder to shortstop. That's going to be 2. It's Jackson to Morgan to Gentile. Double play. So Latman gets the ground ball he needs. No runs, a hit, nobody left for San Francisco. And we're still scoreless. And Franklin says, then McCovey slams one over the wall. Well, he does that quite often. In fact, this season, he did it 36 times in real life. Okay, Bolin getting ready to work as we move along to the bottom of the second. I'll have a little sip of coffee. I want to thank everyone for watching. Oh, first I wanted to bring up one thing. The other day, those of you who may or may not remember this, I had a squeeze play with a runner on third base, and it just said roll 20-sided die. And I asked everyone if they knew anything, how that would be handled, what number are you looking at? So I ended up using the runner's second steal number. In that particular case, it was a 1-3, and he was out. But here's what it says here. On a squeeze play on 11, batter misses pitch, runner on third attempts to steal home, roll D20 for result. Doesn't say what. So I emailed Strat-O-Matic, right? And I got a response this morning. They said you use the second steal number -9. Like you would for a regular steal of home. You roll for the lead, and then it's second number -9. So in that particular case, my base runner, a 3, 1 through 3, -9, he would have been a -6. So he was automatically out as soon as the batter missed the pitch. The moral of the story is either one of two things. Either it's not enough just to have an A bunter at the plate. You got to have somebody at third who can run a little bit. Either that, or let's face it, you're rolling 2 dice. The only time he misses pitch is on an 11. Okay, there's 2 chances out of 36 with 2 die to roll an 11. So basically, it was only a 1 in 18 chance that he was going to miss the pitch and that play would come up in the first place. So it was a very fluky play. Certainly not enough to deter me from squeezing with an A bunter with a slow runner at third again. I don't know about the pitch from Bolin. 4-6 to the left-hander. He grounds it down to second base. That's going to be Lanier. He throws him out. Boy, Lanier is all over the place defensively today. He's already made 3 plays out of the first 5 batters. And here's Nicholson. Bolin, the windup. Pitch to Dave Nicholson. That's a 4-9 to the right-hander. A single to 5, and that's in there. Knocked down by Lanier, but he has no play. That'll be ruled an infield single. And Nicholson's aboard with 1 down. That'll bring up Bob Aspromonte. Aspromonte, the slick fielding third baseman. Bolin from the stretch. The pitch to Bob is a 5-10. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Aspromonte. And now it's Bateman with 2 down. Bolin from the stretch again. The pitch to John Bateman, a 2-8. Swung on and missed strike 3. And for Bolin, that's 3 strikeouts. For the Astros, no runs, 1 hit, a man left on, and we're scoreless after 2. I'm going to look at some of the chat again here and get caught up. Franklin's got coffee too. 146 was the most Ks for Bolin. Thank you, Kurt. How many innings, though? Didn't he have a season where he had damn close to a strikeout an inning? Let me go to Baseball Reference. I want to look at Ks per 9. Yeah, when he first came up, here's his Ks per 9. I won't even count his cup of coffee at 61. 7.7, 8.8, 7.5, 7.5, and then he dropped off after 65. So he was striking out more people until this season. And it's still a good card. Don't get me wrong. 2.89, 34 starts. It's a nice card. Latman has a nice card too. He tends to lean a little more righty. In other words, he's a little more susceptible to lefty hitters. But still a solid card. Okay, to the third inning we go. And here's George. Welcome, George. Great to have everybody here. Hopefully we can get an entertaining game here. Scoreless after 2. Now, to me, that's an entertaining game. I don't know about you. You guys know by now that I love the pitching duels. 1-0's about my favorite game. I'll take a 2-1. Okay, here's Haller. It's Schofield and Bolin to follow. Latman, the windup. The pitch to the left-handed hitting catcher is a 4-11, and he walks him. So Haller's on with a walk to lead off the third inning. And here's Schofield now, a switch hitter, batting left against Latman from the stretch. Pitch to Schofield now is a 3-12. He popped him up. That's going to be Jackson. He's got it. 1 down. And Bolin can handle the bat a little bit. He's a 6 with end power, so he's going to hit away. The pitch from Latman on a 2-2 struck him out. Well, he's still a pitcher after all, is he not? And down on strikes he goes. And here's Hal Lanier. Lanier 0 for 1. Latman from the stretch. Pitch to Lanier is another 6-12. It's a fly to left field X. That's going to be Staub, a 3E13. That always throws me. Let's make the play first, and I'll tell you why. A 3E13 on an 11. That's going to be the error range. So we got a 13 on a roll of a 7, and oh my God, Staub can't handle it. That's going to go down as a 2-base error. Heller will take third. So E7. Error on Houston. The Giants have runners at second and third, 2 away. And Jesus Alou will stride to the plate. Willie Mays on deck. So Latman in a bit of a jam here now. His first real challenge of the afternoon. He gets his sign from Bateman, and here's the pitch to Alou. On a 6-4. Grounder to third. That's playable for Aspromani. He's got it. And throws him out. And that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits. A pair left. There was an error and a walk. And we're still scoreless. And back to the comments for a moment. Hello, Jimmy Jam. Welcome. God, we got quite a group here today. Is everybody off today? Or are we all just retired like me? And Kurt saw Jimmy Page played Rumble by Link Ray. That's awesome. And you know, it's also not surprising if you ever saw the movie It Might Get Loud. Jimmy mentions that song there, and he puts the single on, he's shaking his, or nodding his head and smiling. Many people consider Rumble by Link Ray to be the first actual rock song. Not rock and roll, mind you, but rock. The first rock song, Rumble, by Link Ray. And to the bottom of the third we go. It's going to be the pitcher Latman, and then back to the top of the order for the Houston Astros in a scoreless ball game. Bolin into the windup. Here's the pitch. Right-handed batter, 1-7. Struck him out, and that's 3 strikeouts in a row for Bolin, who now has 4 on the game. And here's Little Joe now. Little Joe steps in from the left side, 0 for 1. Bolin the windup. The pitch to Morgan, a 1-9. That's a triple to 2, but on an 11, he's going to settle for a long single. And Morgan's aboard with 1 down. Morgan with excellent speed. He's only an asterisk 15 here, though, but with Boland's poor hold, that would make him an 18, so he'll have to be held on, which, of course, subtracts 2 and makes him a 1-16. I think Houston needs to force the issue on the bases here, so he's going to try for the lead. 4 through 6, he's nailed on a 12. A 7, he does not establish a good lead, and here's Boland's next offering to Sonny Jackson. On a 3-6, that's a fly ball to right field. That's going to be playable for Alou. He's right there to put it away, and there's 2 down. Jimmy Wynn up now. Runner on first, held. 2 away. From the stretch, the pitch to the toy cannon is a 3-9. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Wynn for the second time today on strikes. For Houston, no runs to hit, a man left. And we're scoreless after 3 complete. I'm looking at Franklin's comment now. Oh, that would have been good. Phil Collins was a hell of a drummer. I do love my music. I don't claim to be an expert on it, but I do know a thing or two about the drums. I've actually played the drums for many years. Give me a moment here. I'm going to turn the heat down. With this sweater, you can see here, it was a Christmas gift. It's very, very warm. And I have a very weird thermostat in this apartment. It just likes to, it's got a mind of its own. Okay, where are we? 3 completed. Heart of the order for the Giants. Mays, McCovey, and Hart. Oh, and Kurt checked out the Christmas album. Yeah, I think it's excellent. It's Christmassy, and yet it maintains a pretty high level of artistic integrity as well. Okay, here's Willie Mays now to lead things off for the Giants in the 4th. Latman's set. He winds and delivers the pitch to Mays, a 5-4. Catcher's card, X. That's going to be Bateman. Bateman's a 3E9. Fairly average as catchers go. And here's the play. On an 18, hits a foul out to the catcher. He makes the catch. So 2X will score that one. 1 down, and here's McCovey. McCovey singled his first time up. Bateman set. Here's the pitch on a 1-9. Swung on and missed strike 3. Right in his good column, too. Oh, my, would you look at that. He was flirting with danger there. But he struck him out, and with 2 away, Jim Ray Hart will be the hitter. And here's the windup. The pitch to Hart, a 2-12. He hits him. Holy crap. Hart's drilled with 2 outs. He's not taking his eye off of Latman for a second as he slowly walks down to first base. Latman shrugs his shoulders as if to say, what? No, I didn't do it on purpose. And here's Cepeda now. So Latman from the stretch as he comes to the plate. The pitch to Orlando, a 1-11. High fly ball to deep left field. Back goes Staub. It's gone. 2-run blast Cepeda. Boy, that's the best response to a hit by pitch, is it not? Holy crap. 111 to 19. It's a 17. Hart hit by the pitch scores ahead of him. And it's 2-0 San Francisco. All the damage with 2 outs. So if Latman did indeed hit him deliberately, he just paid the price for it. I kind of think one just got away from him, but you can think it, you can interpret it any way you choose. And here's Haller now. Here's the pitch to Haller on a 4-7. He struck him out, and that'll do it. But 2 runs for the Giants on 1 hit, a big home run from Orlando Cepeda. Let's take a look at Cepeda now here for a second. That is his 2nd home run of the season. So 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. The Astros will have Gentile, Staub, and Nicholson due. I'm going to have a little sip of coffee. Here's Gentile. He's digging in now from the left side. Bowling is signed from Haller. Here's the windup. Pitch to Gentile, a 5-6 to the lefty. Is a 3-2, but that fly ball is going to be hauled down in the gap by the Say Hey kid, Willie Mays. And there's 1 down. Here's Rusty Staub now, left-handed batter, 0 for 1. Bowling with the windup. Here's the pitch, a 5-7. He struck him out. So K's on the card or not, Boland's got the K pitch going today. That's 6 Ks for him now, and we're only in the 4th inning. And here's Nicholson. 2 down, the windup. The pitch, a 2-11 against the righty. Base it into left field for Nicholson, a 2-out single, and Nicholson's aboard. Nicholson not a threat to run. And here's Aspromani. He was a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. From the stretch now. The pitch to Bob is we've got a dice down on the floor. But there it is. Easy to retrieve. It's a re-roll. And he fouls one off for the first strike. Here's the pitch on a 3-4. Pops him up. That's going to be Hart under it. And he'll make the catch for the out, and that'll do it. No runs a hit. They leave a man. After 4 complete, it's Giants 2, Astros nothing. Franklin predicted the homer, just missed the player so far. Well, if your money's on the favorite if you're going with McCovey, that's for sure. That 1969 Willie McCovey card is one of my favorite Strat-O-Matic cards of all time. In a mixed league, like a draft league, mixed years, or even a 69 league, you'd have to be either 69 or a mixed league, obviously. I'll draft that card anytime I can. And Kurt's behind the plate in the Astrodome. I don't know, some of you guys probably have heard this before, but in 1974, or was it 75, I went down to Texas City to visit my aunt and cousins, and they took me on the Astrodome tour, and that was a lot of fun. It was very impressive. At the time, it was state-of-the-art, and it was a lot of walking, a lot of stairs, but they set off the bowl and the lights and all that stuff. It was a blast. The technology they had at that time, nobody else had that. Definitely something I'll never forget. Okay, we're going to the 5th. The Giants lead 2-0. Schofield will lead it off. Latman ready to work now. The windup, the pitch to Schofield, 1-2. He pops him up. Left side, Jackson's there. So that's twice Schofield's popped to short, and that'll bring up Bolin. Right-handed hitter. The pitch from Latman on a 4-8. Fly ball to center. That's playable for Jimmy Wynn. He takes a few steps to his right and puts it away. And with 2 down, back to the top of the order, and Hal Lanier. Lanier 0 for 2. Latman the windup. Pitch to Hal is a 5-10 to the righty. Grounder to third base X. That's Aspromani. Sure-handed Aspromonte, a 2E18. Here's the play, a 7 on the 18. It's a roll of a 5. And oh my God, he boots it. How about that? Holy cow, even the best ones make errors. So E5. That's the Astros' second error of the day. That puts Lanier aboard and brings up Jesus Alou. Latman would love to get Alou out here and not see Willie Mays with anybody on base. So here he goes. From the stretch, a 3-11. Tapper down to first. That's going to be Gentile. He'll take it himself. And that will do it. No runs, no hits, one left on. And it's still 2-0. So as billed, a great pitching matchup. Latman made one mistake to Cepeda, and it cost him. So far, at least. And John Bateman will lead it off for Houston in the bottom of the 5th. Bolin gets his sign. Now the windup. Here's the pitch to Bateman. A 6-8 pops him up. That's going to be Schofield. He's there. He makes the catch for the out. And here's Latman. Struck out his first time up. It's not a very good K. There we go. Pitch to Latman. 2-6. Struck him out. Not surprisingly. And with 2 down, it'll be Joe Morgan. Morgan 1 for 2. Flapping that arm the way he did. And here's the pitch. 2-6. That's going to be a base hit into right field for little Joe. And he's 2 for 3. $15 Steeler asterisk with Bolin's +3 and 18. Held 1 through 16. And he's going to try it. 4 through 6 or 12. 7. He does not establish a good lead. And Sonny Jackson will hit away. Here's the pitch. A 6-8. Pops him up. That's going to be Lanier. He's there and puts it away to retire the side. So no runs, a hit, 1 left. After 5 complete, it's 2-0 San Francisco. Bolin has allowed 5 hits, all singles. Latman has only allowed 2 hits, but one of them, a 2-run home run, and that's the difference in the ball game to this point. And here come the Giants again with the heart of the order. Mays, McCovey, and Hart. If anybody gets on, Cepeda. The exact same scenario we witnessed in the 4th inning. So here's Mays to lead things off. Excuse me. Latman, the sign from Bateman. The windup. The pitch to Willie Mays. It's a 3-6. Swung on and missed strike 3. Oh my goodness. So Barry Latman has fanned Willie Mays twice today. No small feat by any measure. And here's McCovey now. 1 for 2. Singled and struck out. And Latman goes into his windup. The pitch to Willie Mack. A 4-8. Tapper down to second. Morgan's got it. Flips to Gentile. And there's 2 down. And here's Hart. He started off the scoring in the 4th when he was hit by the pitch. And we all know what happened after that. Latman, the windup, the pitch to Hart, a 2-12, and he hits him again. And now, Latman is being warned by the home plate umpire, as he's drilled Hart twice. So there's got to be something going on between those two. Either that or Hart's crowding the plate an awful lot. However, this blew up on Latman in the 4th. Let's see what happens now. It's Cepeda again. Man on first and 2 down. From the stretch, the pitch to Cepeda, a 2-10, fly to right field, but this one's going to be playable. Nicholson backing up a few steps and puts it away for the out. So no runs, no hits, a man left on. Jim Ray Hart plunked twice. I wonder if he's one of those guys that just gets hit by the pitch a lot. He's got 2, Well, he does have 2 chances. Most guys have 1, but he doesn't have an inordinate amount like, say, a Ron Hunt would have. Interesting, though. And here comes Bobby Bolin. He's taking his tosses, getting ready for the bottom of the inning, in which the Astros will have their heart of the order up. Wynn, Gentile, and Staub. They've still yet to break through. They have 5 singles, but no runs. They trail by 2 as Jimmy Wynn stands in. Bolin, the sign from Haller, and here's the pitch. It's a 3-9 to the righty. Struck him out. And it's the hat trick for Jimmy Wynn, who's now a fan in all 3 of his plate appearances today. And for Bolin now, holy crap, he's running up a total here. 3, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 Ks for Bolin. And here's Gentile. It's a 2-6 to the right. He struck him out. My God, that's 9 for him. I got to make a note of that now. This is starting to become noteworthy. And here's Rusty Staub. The windup. Pitch to Staub on a 4-4. It's catcher's card X. That's Haller. He's a 3-4. And here's the play. On a 15, foul out to the catcher. So Haller makes the catch to end the inning. 2X, 1, 2, 3 go the Astros. And after 6 innings, it's San Francisco 2, Houston nothing. And Franklin says the fans are getting ugly. I'll tell you another story about that Astrodome. On that same trip, my cousin's fiance at the time took me to the game for a doubleheader, and it was a special deal where when an Astro hit a home run on the digital clock, mind you, this was the only ballpark in the major leagues that had a digital clock in 1974. Nobody had a digital freaking clock in 1974. Anyway, I digress. If an Astro homered and the clock was on an even number, it was free beer for the house. Okay, I'm serious. It was free beer for the house. I had just turned 18. I was 18 years old and living in Southern California, where, of course, the legal drinking age was 21. However, in Texas, it was 18 at that time. I think they've raised theirs since then. But in 1974 and 75, I was there both years and went to games both years. That's why I get these mixed up. But it was one of the 2 years, and I was of legal drinking age. And he goes, quick, to the concession, my cousin's fiance, to the concession stand. So we got a cup holder, one of those cup holders that holds 4 drinks. We got 4 drinks, 4 beers apiece, okay? And I'm only 18. Let me tell you what, 4 beers. All I can say is I'm glad he was driving. Anyway, that's a true story, gentlemen. The follies of youth, right? Okay, moving along to the 7th. It's the bottom of the order for the Giants. It is, oh yeah, and Kurt, he got half of his hits by pitch today. I don't know, I'm starting to think that Latman was gunning for him after that second one. So here's Haller to lead things off. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Latman comes set. Here's the pitch, a 3-7. Tapper down to second base. That's Little Joe. He scoops it up cleanly. Over to Gentile, 1 down. And here's Dick Schofield now. 0 for 2. Popped to short twice. The windup. The pitch, a 1-11. Pops him up again. This one's behind the plate. Bateman drifts back and puts it away. And Bolin's going to bat. He's a 6N. The pitch from Latman. 5-8 to the right. He gets a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Morgan. Little Joe, a 3E30. That's going to be a 2. He can't come up with it. That's a base hit. Dice lands flat. That's the house rule. So a 2-out single by Bolin is doing it all now. He's aboard with 2 down, and here's Hal Lanier. Latman in S6. Perhaps the Astros would be advisable to get somebody up behind him. Although they did not use a reliever in this game in real life. Real life, it was 4-0 Astros. Latman went the distance. Okay, with right-handers mostly due. They're not in a save situation. This would most likely be a Chris Zachary scenario. So Chris Zachary is going to begin throwing in the Houston pen. As Lanier steps in with 2 down, Latman from the stretch. Pitch to Lanier, a 1-7. It's a single to 18, and it's in there. Knocked down by Jackson, but he's got nowhere to go with it. It in on an infield single. Bolin's going to hold up at second. So 2 down, 2 on, and here's Alou. And one more hitter walk will fatigue Latman. So Zachary getting ready in a hurry now. And here's the pitch to Alou. 4-6 to the right-hander. Pops him up. Jackson under it. That'll do it. Pop out to short. No runs. 2 hits. A pair left. Latman escapes the jam. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Still 2-0 San Francisco. And Kurt drank Rolling Rock beer. The Rock and Rollers beer. Do you mean you still drink it or you drank it? Oh, I can tell you what kind of beer it was at the Astrodome, too. Anybody care to guess? It's the obvious one. It's Texas, remember? That's right. Lone Star. It was Lone Star. Absolutely, that was what they served. That was all they served at the Astrodome. Again, that was a long time ago. I don't know what they serve now. But it was Lone Star. And Jimmy Wynn hit a home run in one of those games. I don't remember if it was 74 or 75. That's right, the Dodgers were in town. He was the visitor. But Jimmy Wynn knew how to homer in the Astrodome, if anybody did. Holy cow, did he not? Not an easy park to get one out of, but Jimmy could do it, and he was only 5'9". Gotcha, that's what you did drink. And Franklin had Lone Star once. It's okay, I guess. I don't remember. I haven't had a beer in a long time myself. Bottom of the 7th. The Astros trailing by 2. They'll have Nicholson, Aspromonte, and Bateman. Here's the pitch from Bolin. A 3-8 to the righty. Swung on and missed strike 3, and that's 10 for Bolin. Are you kidding me? I normally don't do this. I've seen Jeffrey do this. That's Jeffrey Guterman. I forgot to do that. In case any of you are not familiar, I'm going to put the link right here. Some great 1969 replay action. He's also doing a 1972 football Strat-O-Matic, although I have not seen him roll a football game in a while. But I think he's in the stretch drive in 69. He's on September 3rd or thereabouts. So perhaps he's just trying to focus on that and close out the 69 season. I don't know. You could ask him. Okay, 1 down, and here's Aspromonte. The windup, the pitch. That's going to be a 5-6. That's a triple to 2, but on a 3, Aspromonte is going to settle for a long single. And Bob's on board with 1 away. Not a threat to run, and here's Bateman. Bolin in S7 himself, so he's in his first inning of possible fatigue here. 1 on, 1 out, and Bateman at the plate. Bateman's 0 for 2. Bolin from the stretch. The Pitch to Bateman on a 5-6. Base it into right field. There goes Aspromonte. He's rounding. He's going to go into third. And just like that, first and third, and the Astros have the tying runs on base. And they're going to have to get a pinch hitter up now for Latman. This could be their only shot at this. Meanwhile, Joe Gibbon and Lindy McDaniel, a lefty and a righty, begin throwing down in the Giant bullpen. So Latman pitched a fine 7 innings. Certainly the home faithful have to be happy with Latman's performance. He really made one mistake to Cepeda, compounded by his apparent headhunting of Hart. He only gave up 4 hits. He walked only 1, and of course hit 2. Struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Struck out 6 of his own. A nice game by Latman, 2 runs. With Mays, McCovey, and Hart due, we'll see who's going to come in. Claude Raymond has joined Zachary throwing in the bullpen. Depends whether they can tie it or not. If they get in the game, they'll probably bring in Raymond. If they're still trailing, they'll bring in Zachary. So first and third, 1 away. Who's it going to be against Bolin? Probably would like a left-handed hitter in that situation. Lee May looks like an awfully good choice to me. And that's who it's going to be. Lee May, the left-handed batter. M-A-Y-E, not to be confused with the Lee May, the right-handed power hitter, who would later be traded to the Astros from Cincinnati. But this Lee May is a left-handed hitter, not really a power hitter. He hit 9 home runs, but he batted .288. So let's get Bolin back down in the picture now. And here's Lee May. How will the Giants play the infield here? First of all, let's look at Bateman. Well, we know Bateman can't run. There's no need to look at it. He's not going anywhere. So they'll be at double play depth. And here's the pitch to Lee May. On a 1-6, that's a ground ball to short. That's going to be a force play. A run will score on that. Aspromonte comes in to score. Bateman is forced. And that's the pitcher, so that's going to go 1-4. Lee May is aboard. 2 away now. And Joe Morgan will be the batter. It's 2-1. Tying run on first base. May not a threat to steal. He's a 1 through 13 runner. That's good enough. It's good enough. Bolin from the stretch. The pitch to Little Joe on a 5-12. Grounder to the pitcher X. It's up to Bolin, but he's a 4E33, so this is anything but certain. And here's the play. On a 19, he can't get it. It's a single 1-base advance on Bolin. Generous scoring, if you ask me. May take second. And Bolin's fatigued. And here comes Herman Franks. And that's going to be it for Bobby Bolin. Fine game for Bolin as well. Both starting pitchers, a magnificent job today. Bolin ends up with 6 2/3. 8 hits. Only 1 run so far. Still 2 runners on are his. He did not walk a batter. And he struck out 10. So very impressive for Bolin. And it's going to be Joe Gibbon, the lefty, coming on for the Giants, with 2 of the next 3 batters being left-handed. And that seems like the obvious move to me. So Gibbon, I remember, I think he imploded for the Giants in a recent game, did he not? That might have even been the first game of this series. But again, we're working on my short-term memory here, and that's not really my best asset by any means. So it'll be Gibbon versus Jackson here, tying run in scoring position. Morgan's at first. Left on left, the pitch to Jackson. He grounds it down to short, playable for Schofield. That's going to do it. He'll go the easy way to Lanier to retire the side. The Astros get a run on 3 hits and leave a pair. You have to feel like the Astros squandered what was probably their best shot right there. They did get one. And since they are still trailing, it's going to be Chris Zachary to come in. Zachary, a good pitcher, mostly effective against right-handers. He'll walk a few, but he doesn't give it many hits. And we'll see how that works out as the Giants once again send the heart of the order to the plate. Let me catch up on some of the comments here. There's a story behind that, but it is a long story. Now it's root beer, right? I don't drink much anymore myself. I do love a good red wine. But I rarely pop a bottle anymore because I can't finish it, and then I end up wasting it. So I'll usually only drink wine if I'm in a group with somebody else who will help me drink it. And Franklin, the best line of all, I have to think. Just think what happens when they go to Frisco after having heart drilled twice, right? So Zachary's finished his warm-ups for the Houston Astros. Here's Mays standing in now. Zachary, the wind-up. The pitch to Willie Mays, a 5-2 to the righty. Tapper down to third base. Aspromonte. Sure-handed Bob throws him out, and there's one down. And here's McCovey. 1 for 3 today. Zachary gets his sign. Here's the windup. The pitch to the Big Mac, 2-8. Grounder down to second. Sorry, 2-7. Excuse me, 2-7 to fly to center. Playable for Jimmy Wynn. And quickly 2 away. And here's Jim Ray Hart, who's probably, if anybody is happy that Lapman's out of the game right now, it's Jim Ray Hart. Yeah, and here's Zachary's pitch to Hart. On a 2-6, single to 5, but that liner's going to find the glove of Aspromonte, who's all over the place today. He's all over this box score defensively today. 1-2-3 go the Giants. Nice inning by Zachary to keep it a 2-1 ball game. And it's starting to get to be nail-biting time here at the Dome. With Wynn, Gentile, and Staub due, Joe Gibbon's going to come back out. I think he's their only lefty down there. They've still got McDaniel loosening. He's a righty. Pretty's a righty. Lindsey's a righty. Perry starts the second game of the doubleheader. Yep, Gibbon is the only lefty. That isn't totally true. They had a computer-only card. Bear with me now. He didn't pitch in this game, so I probably would not use him, but that was Bill Henry. Bill Henry, supposedly, I was just reading this recently, Bill Henry was the first loogie, the first lefty one-out guy in baseball history. Now, I'm not sure I totally buy that, but that's what the article said. So it's Wynn, Gentile, and Staub. Gibbon, the lefty, gets his sign from Haller. Here's the pitch to the toy cannon, a 6-6. He walks him. The tying run is aboard. To lead off the bottom of the 8th, Wynn an asterisk 15. Gibbon a -2 hold, so he'd be a 13. Not held. They're going to hold him and drop him to a 1 through 11. Also, if he were to try for the lead, he's automatically out on a 10 or 11. So the Giants really trying to discourage Wynn from getting into scoring position. Gentile cannot bunt worth a damn. In fact, he's not even going to hit against Gibbon. They'll go to their right-handed hitting first baseman, Chuck Harrison, in this situation. And that'll most likely chase Gibbon. So here comes a series of moves against myself, which I always enjoy. But yeah, Harrison will bat for Gentile. Gentile pretty much worthless against the lefty. And Harrison a much better defensive first baseman, a 2E13. However, that move is going to send Herman Franks to the mound, and he's going to pull Gibbon. So Gibbon goes a third of an inning. He walks a batter. And they're going to the righty, Lindy McDaniel. This is working out to script, as both Gibbon and McDaniel pitched in this game in real life. So here's Lindy McDaniel now. A fine 2.66 ERA in 122 innings of relief. That still blows my mind. The number of innings relief pitchers used to work compared to now. Now you're lucky if you get 50 innings out of a reliever. Of course, they're all throwing 98 miles an hour plus. So Wynn on first, McDaniel a -1. Wynn still held. Let's see what that changes his picture at all. 14, he's a 1 through 12 now, held on. Here's Harrison. McDaniel from the stretch. The pitch to Chuck Harrison, a 4-5. Fly to center field. Mays glides over, can of corn. 1 down. And that'll bring up Rusty Staub. McDaniel's going to face him. Right-handed Nicholson on deck. The pitch to Staub, a 2-8. High fly ball to deep right field. Back goes Alou, and it's off the wall. Double, an open double. Wynn can try to score on that. The right fielder, Alou, a -1. There's 1 out, so Wynn a 15 of 14 with 1 out. No, I don't do that. So I can hear the groans now. Two outs, absolutely. 1 out. You've got a 30% chance of making the second out at the plate, which to me violates one of the unwritten rules of baseball. As it is now, they have the tying run at third base and the go-ahead potential winning run in scoring position with 1 out, and Nicholson and Aspromonte to try to knock one or both of them in. The Giants will also have to pull the infield in now with second and third and 1 out. And they will do just that as Dave Nicholson steps in from the right side. Here's the pitch from McDaniel. 6-8, he struck him out. Oh my God, what a big out that is. And that's the second time that Nicholson has fanned. And here's Aspromonte, 1 for 3. McDaniel with the pitch. A 4-10, grounder to shortstop X. That's Schofield. A 3E56. Hold your breath on this one. On a 1. Schofield cannot handle it. Single 2 asterisks. Both runs score. And the Astros take the lead. Holy crap. Schofield. That was a tough play for anyone, but still. Oh my goodness. Win scores. Staub scores. 2 RBIs for Strat-O-Matic. And it's 3-2 Astros. And here's Bateman. Didn't the same thing basically happen in game 1 of this series? Anyway, here's the pitch to Bateman. 1-3. He hits him! So McDaniel responds to giving up the 2-run single by drilling Bateman. Strat-O-Matic down to second. That might have been retaliation for Hart as well. Who knows? And now their pitcher, Zachary, they're going to hit for Zachary. They'll get Claude Raymond up, their closer. So Zachary goes an inning. Raymond will come on in the 9th. Let's see what they got left on the bench. Probably not Heath. He's the other catcher. Lillis. Oh, Brown was a catcher too. They actually have 2 catchers on the bench. That's interesting. .247 average. They're going to bring Ron Davis off the bench. He's a righty. So here's the situation. 3-2 Houston, bottom of the 8th. There's 2 down. Strat-O-Matic's at second, Bateman's at first, and here's Ron Davis. And the pitch from McDaniel. On a 5-8, grounder to second base X, that's Lanier. A 2-E8. On a 12, that's the error range. An 8 on the roll of an 8. He makes the play for the out, not surprisingly. 4-3X, but the Astros put the crowd in a frenzy with a 2-run 8th. 2 runs, 2 hits. They leave the pair. There was a walk and a hit by the pitch. Holy crap, what an inning. And before we bring on Raymond here, I've got to look at something. Bear with me. This game feels like deja vu to me. Yes, here was game 1 of the series. 1-1, Astros were up. In this one, the Astros were up 5-1. There was the Giants who tied it in the 9th. And then the Astros came back in the bottom of the 9th. So a similar, as far as drama goes, not all that similar, but it was a 1-run game and there was lots of drama. So Raymond's coming on to try to nail it down. A lot of these Astro fans are still on their feet here at the Dome. It's not over yet. Cepeda, Haller, and presumably a pinch hitter for Schofield. Well, to be fair, McDaniel would get a warning. Latman got a warning, so I don't think the umpire would throw him out. But yeah, we'll just say he gave McDaniel a warning and said, hey, no retaliation. Remember, they weren't as strict about this in 1966 as they are today. Hell, nowadays, if the pitcher looks at the batter wrong, he gets a warning. I'm going to let it go at that. I almost got on my soapbox again about the difference in the eras, but I'm going to let that slide. And we'll get to the 9th inning here. Houston 3, San Francisco 2. Here's Cepeda. Claude Raymond's ready to go now. Pitch to Orlando on a 2-8. Pops him up. That's going to be Jackson for the catch, and there's one down. And here's Tom Haller. Haller 0 for 2 with the walk. Raymond comes set. Pitch to Haller on a 1-9. Triple to 1, and oh my God, just look at it. Another catcher triples. This has got to be like the third one. Single anything else, but somehow that gets by Nicholson and rattles around in the corner, and Haller winds up at third with a triple. So the Giants have the tying run at third base, and they're going to bring in a pinch runner for Haller and a pinch hitter for Schofield. Let's see if they can do that. Do they have the... They've got the hitter. Let's see if they've got a runner who can play short. Their best runner just happens to be their other shortstop. Actually, they've got 3 1 through 14s. But only one of them can play short, and that, of course, is Tito Fuentes. Oh, he doesn't need to play short. He's coming in for the catcher, for Christ's sakes. Okay. So never mind that. But running for Haller at third base will be Tito Fuentes, a 1 through 14. Len Gabrielson's going to bat for Schofield. In fact, Fuentes would stay in the game and play short if it came down to it, because Schofield's coming out. Len Gabrielson off the bench, left-handed batter. Houston will play the infield in. There's one out, tying run at third. Holy crap, what a game! You got to be kidding me. I'm starting to think you guys are going to accuse me of scripting these damn things. Okay, here we go. Raymond's staring in to get his sign. Pitch to Gabrielson. It's a 1-8. Struck him out. And how big of a strikeout was that? Holy crap. Gabrielson down on strikes. Now they're going to need a hitter for the pitcher, McDaniel. Let me take a look at Raymond here. Not really much of an advantage to lefty or righty. And a walk doesn't do you any good for the Giants. What they need is whoever has the highest batting average, pretty much. Could be Davenport. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Or Cat Peterson. Peterson would appear to have a few more hits. Okay, it's going to be Cat Peterson. I think it could be either one, actually, but I got to pick somebody. Even the umpires are getting impatient. Okay, it'll be Cat Peterson. Pinch hitter Peterson. Runner on third in the form of Tito Fuentes. There's 2 down in the 9th inning. The Giants trail by a run. It's all up to Cat Peterson as Raymond comes set. The pitch to Cat Peterson, a 4-6. Swung on and missed strike 3, and that's the ball game. And Fuentes is left standing at third base. How about that for an ending? Holy cow, what a game. And that's just the first game of a doubleheader. And the Astros have won the first 2 games of this series. The Giants dropped to 6-4. And I was looking at the standings and compared to the schedule the other day, actually yesterday. And Los Angeles is 8-2, and the Giants were 6-3 coming into this one. But the thing is, the Dodgers and the Giants both so far have played nobody but the Cubs and the Astros. Okay? The Dodgers have taken advantage of that. The Giants have not, and that's the difference. But both teams are going to be facing some tougher teams in the near future. So let's total out the pitching now. McDaniel for the Giants worked an inning. He allowed 2 hits, a run. So each one of these pitchers charged with a run, the way it looks to me. 1 to Bolin, 1 to Gibbon, 1 to McDaniel. McDaniel did not walk anybody. He did hit a batter and strike out 1. And he's also the losing pitcher as he gave up the go-ahead run. Raymond in his inning gets a save. He gave up a triple, but he struck out 2 with a man on third. You got to love that. That's a gutty performance there, a clutch performance, I should say, for Raymond with a save. And that would have made a winner out of Zachary, who pitched the 8th when Houston was trailing, and they took the lead. So for the Astros, they ended up with 3 runs on 10 hits. Well, who the hell made the errors? The Astros made 2 errors. Both on balls hit by Lanier, interestingly. For the Giants, 2 runs, only 5 hits. No errors. 3-2. What a game. What a game. Okay, let's check the records now. The Giants dropped to 6-4. The Astros improved to 5-6 and climb into the race. For McDaniel, where is he? That's his second loss. He's 0-2 now out of the pen. They might want to start using somebody else in the key situations. Zachary with the win. He was 0-1, so he's 1-1 now. And for Raymond, that's his first save. And there's Dan. Hey, Dan, I didn't see you there. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that was a hell of a game. Boy, I'm exhausted after that one. I might come back and play the second game of the doubleheader. More likely I'll play it tomorrow. And that brings me to another point. Tomorrow's game is either going to be earlier or later than the normal time. Simply because I have a doctor's appointment at 3, an optometrist, actually. And where's the second game? Let's see. I know it's Gaylord Perry for the Giants. Let's see who's pitching for Houston. Robin Roberts. That does not bode well for Houston. That's a terrible Roberts card at the very tail end of his career. But we'll see. Anything can happen. And there's Larry. Hi, Larry. Hey, thank you, guys. I really do appreciate it. Boy, that was a crazy game. I was certain after the Howler triple they were going to tie it up and this thing was going to go extras. But Raymond fanned 2 pinch hitters to get him out of it. Now, that's what I call a well-earned save. Not a cheap save by any means. Wow. Fireworks are going off at the Dome. The fans are freaking out. Herman Franks is just sitting in the Giant dugout saying, how the frick can this be happening? The Giants had a great team. This is like a double upset. And there's 2 more to go between these two. Anyway, we'll get to that either this evening or tomorrow. Probably either 1 p.m. or after 4 p.m., which is the more likely of the two, after the optometrist appointment. I can't wait to get new reading glasses. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm going to go play with my ring light right now and set that up and run some tests. I want to thank each and every one of you again for hanging out with me this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. Most of you probably have, but it bears repeating. And I'll close by wishing each and every one of you a very pleasant good evening. 2024. Hell yeah. Good night, everybody.